just like the MC. Hey, welcome. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to tonight's program. I'm Janice Fields. I'm a committee woman here in town. I'd like to welcome you all to the Fabric of Bernards. This is a very important program. In town here, our committee woman, Jennifer Acey, runs the Fabric of Bernards. And every month or every other month, she tries to find a program that's important and there's a concern for the community. And this is one for all of us that's a concern. And it's a very informative. As you can see, in our town, we have the resources needed for each and every one of you when something comes up, and especially today, as you can see in the room. So I want to thank all of you for coming, but I especially want to thank my colleague, Jen Acey, who will be running tonight's program and who has done a wonderful job in putting this together. So Jen, please come up and thank you.
So thank you to everyone for coming out. We haven't done this before, so thanks for being guinea pigs, so to speak. For tonight, for friends who may not have been able to come, we are recording this. So the presentations that'll be from the podium will be recorded and posted on the website. We are also make sure before you leave, if you didn't already get, this is contact information from everybody that's around the room. So please make sure you take this because that helps to know if you don't get around to every single booth when we switch to that part of the session. So the reason why we all came together is that, as Janice was saying, the Fabric of Bernards is our diversity and inclusion initiative where we focus on all residents within Bernards Township. So the tagline for Fabric of Bernards is, every resident is the thread woven together into the strong and unique fabric of Bernards. We truly feel that for every single resident. When I spent some time with the census, I wanted to understand from a data perspective who comprises Bernards Township. In the most recent census, 16% of our community are 65 plus. Therefore, it was really clear of what are we doing to help provide information to this segment of our population. Also, as I know, as I interact with folks within the community, I understand that, there are some challenges for some folks that are 65 plus with things like fixed income and other things. So it's something that we said, there are a lot of resources. So when I took office, there are a tremendous amount of resources, but we don't know if everybody knows what they are. And so I thought, let's create a program and let's try to share information. And I am beyond excited to be able to share that we have all 4 levels of government, federal, state, county, and local, to be able to share with you important information, highlights. So these presentations, we could spend all night with them, but I've asked them to be be brief, be bright, be gone, because really the real part of the real part and the meat and potatoes of this program is for you to interact with each and every one in this room so you can get information. Now, we have a short amount of time, so at least make sure you get the contact information and then you can follow up with those individuals and then get your direct questions answered. So that is sort of the highlight. So super high level. We're doing the welcome and program introduction. Then we're going to cycle through the presentations. Again, the representatives from the levels of government will do the presentations. You'll see me again doing the introduction of local resources. So the presenters will have their booths, as you can see. And then I'm going to highlight, I asked all of the other folks, our local resources, which are comprised of the 5 housing options within Bernards Township, plus some really unique and important local resources that you may or may not have heard of before. And so I will give you that high-level overview. And the whole point of that is for you to know, okay, when we break into booths, you know who to go to. And so that way you can service your need versus having to listen to all the information that may or may not be relevant. So I did want to again, clarify, the first part of the presentation, all of the presenters are to just give you little snippets, little teases of what they have to talk about in their booths. And we're not doing Q&A in this portion. The Q&A is specific to you. So if you have certain questions, for instance, when I was speaking to JD, he's like, if there are any federal issues or concerns, he wants to know. So those are the kinds of things of the one-on-one, that's the really important part. So I really hope that you find this useful. And we've not done it before. We'd love your feedback to know of like, hey, how's this going? This is useful. Should we repeat it? Any types of modifications. So again, we want to make sure that we're servicing our community. And last but not least, I just wanted to acknowledge and thank, this is the largest program that we've done in terms of bringing together many different organizations. So guys, thanks to everyone for playing and being a part of this. Bonnie helped to, with some of her expertise, I'm just going to call you out if I may, from Ridge Oak, and just really gave me some great insights to help modify an initial program into this. So I hope that, So we'll look to see how this goes tonight, and let's go ahead and begin. So we'll start from the federal perspective, representing Congressman Kane's office. JD, would you like to come up, please?
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. It is so great to see everybody here tonight. Fantastic. I had a very, very short drive over here. The Congressman's office is right on Claremont Road in Bernardsville, so 75 Claremont Road. We are open 9 to 5 weekdays. We have mobile office hours very frequently, so please keep an eye on our social media to see exactly what we are, where we'll be out in the community. I'm planning on doing some mobile office hours here in Bernard soon, try and get that scheduled. We tend to go out to farmers markets or libraries and have extended times for folks, because we've got 95 towns in the Congressman's district across 6 counties. So we are dealing with a lot of different towns, but we are local here for Bernards, and we're here for you for any of your customer service needs, because that's what my job is. And something that folks don't really know about, they think when they think of their congressperson, they think of this is somebody who's passing legislation, and that is a huge part of the job. But something that folks don't really know is that as part of the oversight role of a congressperson, we're here to help with any federal agency that you have an issue with. So to date, and I'll if you come over to the booth a little bit later, I can walk through all of this stuff with you. To date, we've actually returned over $2 million to constituents here in the 7th Congressional District through casework alone. That's IRS cases, that's Social Security cases, that's across the board, passports being expedited, anything that you can think of that has a federal aspect to it, we're here to help. I will not go through all the process of how you file a casework request, because I can do that for you here in person, one-on-one, and it'll be a better experience. But what I can tell you is we are always available either by phone, 908-547-3307, or come out to our office, as I said, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, or whenever we have mobile office hours. My card is here on the table. I'm happy to go through any issues that you have. But really, what we are here for is addressing those customer service needs, in addition to taking any questions or comments that you have for the congressman. So everything comes through our office, goes directly to the congressman. So we are really a conduit for you to get your message, get your voice out to the congressman. So I encourage you to come over here, and I'll walk you through all of any filing that you might need to do to submit a case, or even submit a comment, whatever you would like to do. I'm here for you. That's the whole job, and we've done that. We've completed over 1,200 cases this year in the first 8 months. So we're working on, we need to hear more from you guys. We need to get those cases, because the sooner we get your case on our, in our system, the sooner we can process it. And unfortunately, what we find a lot is that people don't really know about that oversight role, about that customer service role. And they come to us at the last second. And we still work on those cases, and we get those cases done. But if you are feeling like you're sensing a slowdown in whatever case it is, maybe it's a USCIS case, maybe it's something having to do with immigration, any of those things, as soon as you sense a slowdown, come to our office and we can help out. So thank you so much for coming out here. This is awesome. And I can't wait to talk with you a little bit later in the evening. Thank you.
And so now I'd like to ask some representatives of Assemblywoman Michelle Matsakudis' office to come and talk about some updates related to the state.
Hi, folks. How is everyone today? Good. Thank you, Deputy Mayor, and to the rest of the council, Councilwoman, for having us. We really appreciate this opportunity. My name is Kian. I am Assemblywoman Michelle Matsakudis' Chief of Staff, and this is Josh Kuttner. He is the Assemblywoman's District Director. We're here to speak just briefly on some of the services that the state is providing and some of the work that Assemblywoman Matsakudis is doing on your behalf, because Bernards does fall within our legislative district. The first thing I would like to highlight is Michelle is a sitting member of the Aging and Senior Services Committee, or the Seniors and Aging Committee, as you see it up on the board. And this was a result of Michelle's work in New Providence as a councilwoman there, helping to get New Providence recognized as an AARP national town, recognized as a good place to age, a safe place to age. And so she took her experience at the local level and has continued that at the legislative level, serving on aging and senior services. So you can see on the board a little bit of the work our office and the Assemblywoman has done on your behalf in passing common sense, pragmatic, and practical legislation that will have a positive impact through the results and the work of the committee on your everyday lives. So this is just a teaser. Josh and I would be more than happy to answer any questions on specific legislation that we have at the table. The second thing that I would like to highlight is, as an extension of our work on the Seniors and Aging Committee, Michelle has introduced a number of bills aimed at senior citizens as well too, that will provide not only fiscal benefits, but also quality of life benefits to the seniors that we see across our 19 towns as well too. So you can see an example of a few of the bills that Michelle has written and introduced on your behalf in Trenton. And we're very proud of this part of our legislative portfolio because, as Deputy Mayor indicated, like in Bernards, where seniors make up a significant portion of the population, we have similar demographics across the entire legislative district. And this is a population that we are very mindful of in meeting your needs at the state level.
Great. So now I get to talk about the fun part, which is the state government actually looking to give you money back, which is one of those rare occasions. So specifically the Anchor program, which hopefully many of you have heard of by now, new program last year designed to provide property tax relief to both renters and homeowners. So last year it would have been, if you were an eligible renter, $450. If you were an eligible homeowner, either $1,000 or $1,500, depending on your income level. This year, the legislature approved a $250 increase to all of those amounts for seniors. So essentially, to file for this year, you either fall into one of three groups. One, you got a white letter in the mail with the Department of Treasury up top that says, hey, you filed last year, you're good to go this year. They've already pre-filed for you. That's about 1.3 million people in the state had that. So that's the best camp. You're all set there unless you need anything changed. If you do need something changed and you receive that letter, come see us. The second group is people who received a mailer that says, hey, you are eligible even though you didn't do it last year. That's about 2.1 million people in the state. You either got a green letter in the mail if you're a homeowner, or a purple other way around. You got a green letter in the mail, no, I was right, for a homeowner, purple for renters. So that case, you do need to file. Usually it's a simple process online that we can help with. There's also a paper version we'll be happy to help with as well. And third, if you didn't receive any mailers, definitely come speak to us, because you very well may still be eligible. Sometimes things get lost in the mail. We'll help find out your username, your user ID and PIN. We'll get it filed. We'll get you your benefits. So regardless of what group you fall into, come see us at the table over there.
Josh is our resident expert on Anchor. He's done all the crash courses. I defer to him as well. You can see a few other fiscal benefits up on the board as programs come out from the state that would benefit you folks. As senior citizens, we try to be mindful of those and make those resources available. If you have any questions on any of these programs, please come see us at the table. We'll be more than happy to answer it. And I do have a little cheat sheet for you at that time that you can see all the filing deadlines as well. I see you, ma'am. I will speak to you at the table just so that we can keep this going. Finally, the other thing that I would like to highlight is very similar to what the congressman and JD do at the federal level, we get to do at the state, which is focus on quality constituent casework. So our office is authorized to assist you on any sort of case that may involve a state agency or a state department. You could see a few examples up on the board. Our office does offer completely free notary services. Josh and I are both notaries. I brought my kit here tonight. If any of you folks have notary needs, please come see me as well. But we can assist with those senior freeze, NJ anchor payments, unemployment issues. A lot of seniors that come into our office work part-time as crossing guards. They are seasonal employees. They may have unemployment needs. Disability payments, motor vehicle, DMV issues, and so much more. We try to make ourselves available to you folks as needed. Our office is open 5 days a week. And like the Congressman's office, we also host mobile office hours. We'll actually be back in Bernards for mobile office hours on October 10th. More information at the booth. We are trying to hit every town of our 19, and we're doing pretty good so far. So please, if you think you have anything that deals with state government, please come see us. We'd be happy to take a look at that. There's our contact information, as the deputy mayor said. It's also on the contact sheet where you can come see us, and we'd be more than happy to help you out. So thank you very much for your time, and thank you to the committee members that put this on.
Thank you. So now we're going to pivot. We're going to the county. So Joshua O'Neill, representing Somerset County, Office of Aging and Disability Services, has a lot to share with you. Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you, Jennifer. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. It's a good evening, right? Okay. So my name is Joshua O'Neill. I'm the elder care educator for Somerset County Office of Aging and Disability Services. Been working with the county for 4 years. We are centered in Somerville. We have various locations throughout the county, so I'll get into that in a second. Our mission is basically to promote health and independence for people who are 60 and older, people who have physical disabilities ages 18 and older, and their caregivers, and also individuals who have adult disabled children at home. Our main goal is to keep seniors at home for as long as they are able and for as long as they desire. So how do we do this? The main source of help that we give people is through our intake process. So our number, I'll just state it out. If you want a card or a brochure, we have that on the table out there. But our main way of helping people is calling our number, 908-704-6346, where a trained professional who is trained in senior services and system navigation will help you manage your needs. So, for example, we get a lot of calls in for people who are just coming out of the hospital and they might need what we know as Meals on Wheels, or they might need a home health aide, right? So that's all good and well. We want to help you with that one issue as well, but since our professionals are highly trained in system navigation, we will assess all your needs. So we'll have an open conversation with you at the beginning. The person can feel free to add any information they like. The staff who's trained will assess the need and then give recommendations. From that point on, You guys can decide to move forward with whatever information you like, or decide, this is not it for me. You can call back at a different time. Okay? So, tonight I'm just going to give us a couple stories to illustrate our impact. One such story, I answered the call. It was a Medicare question. The person, their spouse, did not have any insurance. So I was able to talk her through that. How do we do that? At what time of the year do we get someone on Medicare? But through the conversation, I was able to find out they were very low income, this couple. We were able to sign them up for utility assistance, prescription assistance, somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,200 a month we were helping them save through various applications and assistance. So it's not just a phone call, you get your need and then you leave us. It's more of a comprehensive assessment that we do over the phone to help individuals. Okay, on the screen, as you can see, this is just a small list of assistance programs, referral agencies, people we work with. All right, so this is why it's really important to call us. We are trained professionals to help you manage getting to all these places, all these destinations. Okay, so because that list is so long, I'm just going to focus on 4 main topics here tonight. And at that 30,000 foot view, so our nutrition and wellness programs, 2 main things they do. They reduce nutrition risk, food insecurity, so people who are lacking the ability to pay for food or get food because of physical disability or because of financial difficulty. This is what our program focuses on. And the second thing is to reduce isolation. As we know, Surgeon General about 2 months ago said isolation is a main thing that's threatening early mortality for seniors in our country. So our senior wellness centers, there's 6. They operate Monday through Friday. Main thing here, there's so many activities. You can get a lunch at no cost to you. And really, the exercises and education programs are quite engaging. It really engages most of our seniors. So that's pretty much what I'm going to say about that. Our home delivered meals. This is meals that are brought out to our seniors who are homebound. Like I said, people who are coming out of the hospital, people who can no longer prepare meals for themselves, and they may also have a financial difficulty, especially with inflation, as we know, with food costs. One story about this, a powerful part of this program is the welfare check. So every day a driver goes out, they make sure the senior is okay. During the pandemic, when we were all isolated and everybody was at home, one of my seniors, one of my clients, they went into their closet, a suitcase fell on their foot. They were not able to leave the closet. 20 minutes later, the driver came, heard her screaming. They called the EMS. And today, afterwards, I talked to her. She was pretty convinced that she was alive because of that driver. So we continue to do this. It's a powerful part of the program. Not only does it bring food, but it keeps seniors safe. Okay, some specialized services through our office. I'm just going to hit 1 point on each. Our telephone reassurance program. Again, we're going to call seniors who are homebound. You can get on the program. Again, it's for safety and welfare, and also a brief socialization. So it really helps for seniors who have a lot of issues and they need a lot of follow-through, and they're at home. They have no family, they have no friends in the area. Okay, the JACK program. This is a program that really focuses on people who need a little bit of home care, a little bit of respite care. It's not designed to give you a lot of services, but just fillers. And one of my colleagues runs it. So in order to get on the program, we'll help assess you, we'll help see if you're eligible, and then if you're put on the program, someone in our office will help manage the program with the person who's interested, eligible and enrolled. So the PLS program, Project Lifesaver, this one program is focused on seniors that are wandering and have dementia or memory loss. It's designed to help track them. So if they leave the home and the caregiver finds it, if they're on the program, the caregiver calls the county sheriff's office, which we work together in tandem to help find them. Recently, a senior went missing on 27 in Franklin Park. If you guys know where that area is, very busy. They lost a son, lost their mother. It was, I think, midday. They said, the county sheriff said that before this program, it would have taken them 3 days to find the person. It took them an hour. And as we know, if it was something like last week when there was high heat, imagine 3 days trying to survive there, and you have memory loss and you're lost. So this program is very focused on people who have dementia, but it continues to save lives. Okay, the PASP program, just one word on this, people who are physically disabled. This program really gives a monthly budget to people just for their personal care. And it's designed to keep people active. So the person needs to be working or engaged in some kind of activity already, and this is to keep them focused and connected, and to get them help with taking care of themselves, either before work, before school, or during work, during school. It's very flexible. I think we're all familiar with things called Freedom Care, or you hear the commercials, get your loved one to come help you. This is a forerunner. It was set up in 1986. So this program has helped a lot of people, continues to help a lot of people. If you know somebody who's physically disabled, be sure to come over. Be happy to give you more information. Okay, application assistance. From soup to nuts, from beginning to end, we will help you with the application. So if someone, like I mentioned before, has a question about I can't afford anything, or they're just feeling the pressure of inflation, this is where we go to. We help them ascertain if they're eligible for any programs, help them with the information to gather all their documents. We can help complete the application over the phone, or they can come into our office. We can mail it out from our office. After we're done, we can follow up, see if they're put on, enrolled, and even after that, we help with recertification every year. So some main programs here. All these programs have to deal with Medicare, prescription costs. Actually, just this week, that first program, the PAD program, I'm working with someone. She's already in our Meals on Wheels program, but she says she can't afford her medicines because they cost $300 a month. I'm going to help her get her on this program that's going to reduce her bill to $35 a month. So there's some powerful programs here in the state of New Jersey. We're the glue. People over there, the good people over there set up these programs, help to set up these programs. We help to get people in the programs. So these are all Medicare prescription costs and premium programs here on this page. And then we have the LIHEAP USF LIWAP program, utility assistance as far as energy and as far as heating, water, and the final SNAP, that's food assistance. So we help soup to nuts with all of those applications if someone is eligible and they're interested in moving forward. Finally, and many times people call in for home health aides. These are 3 areas where we bring people, we assist with people onboarding onto what's called MLTSS, or long-term Medicaid here in the state of New Jersey. County Homemaker is a specific program here in our Somerset County, and the respite program. If someone comes to us and they already have an aide, we can help them enroll in this program, which would help them pay for what services they do have. And finally, we have a whole host of referral agencies we work with, from Medicare assistance, home repair, legal needs, food banks, housing. We work closely with some of these agencies, refer out very often. if you know anyone who has these needs, be sure to call in. This is our contact information. I'll leave you with one more story. Last year, we were working with someone who was especially vulnerable. This is the complexity of the work we do. They had lost their husband, and they did not manage, this was an older woman, she never managed her utility bills. Then her son came in the picture, took over. Her son passed away. So her husband, her son, no one was in the picture. Believe it or not, the utilities were in her son's name, and she could not switch it over to her name until the bill was paid down. She had, I believe, more than $1,000 in what she owed to the utility company. So my director and some workers in our office did some great work, worked with her landlord to work out a situation with her rent. She paid down her utility bill and was able to switch over her name. So we got that situation under tow. She no longer owes anything. She's free and clear, and she's able to stay in the home. Her main issue was she did not want to leave her home. She was more than 90 years old, and she was living in her childhood house. So we were able to help her achieve that dream for as many years as she has left. And that's my name, Joshua O'Neill. I'm the elder care educator. This is our number. I'll say it one more time, 908-704-6346. Please see us if you know of anybody that has needs. We have brochures, cards up there, and thank you.
I think you all can agree. Bernards Township is very lucky to have someone like Joshua that helps to support us. And so he has a treasure trove of valuable programs that hopefully, if you have any interest in, that you'll be able to see him at his booth. So Joshua, thank you so much. We're going to now move to the local offerings. So representing Bernards Township, we have our police department, and following that will be the library. And so we're very fortunate. Chief Berger is here, as well as Sergeant Baldessari, and they will share some valuable information. Thank you.
I'm Chief John Berger. To my left is Sergeant Tracy Baldessari of our Traffic Safety / Community Policing Division. Thank you, Deputy Mayor AC and Committeewoman Janice Fields. We really appreciate the invite, having us here. I am going to hit you up both now for a bigger budget because I see everybody else has wonderful tablecloths. So I'm going to request that at the next meeting that I get money to buy a beautiful tablecloth for the Bernards Township Police Department. Just saying that now. Please come and visit us after. Sergeant Baldessari is going to give a quick, brief presentation on fraud and things to do to protect yourselves. But please stop by our booth. We do have a couple items that you can take. I promise you, you will not get in trouble for taking these. They are free. One is basically a clip that you can put onto your refrigerator. We suggest you add a little piece of paper to it so that you can put important numbers, so that if we ever come into your residence and we need to contact somebody important to you, we can find that information. The other is a little keychain flashlight. Do not look at it. It's very bright. I did it before I came here, and I still can't see properly. So don't do that, but it's an excellent thing to use at night for your car if you try to get in with a key or something to that effect. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Sergeant Baldessari.
So again, thank you for having us. When we originally did a presentation about kind of understanding Bernards and our portion of it for the police department, we went over all the different services that we have and the different divisions. I cut that out because we're obviously on limited time. So I just pulled out some of the important things about it. And I see some familiar faces here from that presentation. So some of this will also be familiar. So what I wanted to focus on was the crimes that are targeting seniors. And these crimes don't just target seniors, but the ones that we're seeing the most. Fraud is huge, and it doesn't just target seniors, but it is one of the biggest problems that we are seeing just in general. And what fraud is, it's a wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. And just a few of the things that we do see would be stealing or modifying paper checks. And it's a lot easier than people think. I know, a lot of people like to stay old school and do those paper checks. I know that my parents are like that, and they just feel better sending in those checks, but just understand that we are seeing more of the modifying of those because they are very easily modified. So you send out your check to pay your utility bill or whatever it might be, or may even make people send in checks to make donations, and it's in the amount of $150, and the next thing you know, it's been modified and somebody's trying to cash it for, $1,500 or even more than that, $15,000. Usually they keep it below $5,000, so it doesn't raise certain red flags, but they do that multiple times and they can make a lot of money. Another thing that we're seeing is when someone provides wire transaction information that is for a bank account that is not the one that you're intending to send the money to. We've seen this more with maybe a down payment on a house, or bigger types of payments on between businesses, where you might receive an email and it looks like it's from someone you're doing business with or someone that you owe money to. And there's a bank account number on there for you to wire the money to. And this is when you're expecting this. So you're expecting to wire that money. And then we see the people, they wire the money and the intended recipient never receives that money. And that's because when you open up the sender information, so when you look at an email and it looks like it's coming from John Smith, right? You want to click on that and check the actual email address that it's coming from, because it's going to be different, and it might be a very slight difference, so you have to look at it very closely. It's a fraudulent email, and they've provided the incorrect information. So if you're ever paying money through a wire transaction or through any types of those, you always want to make sure that you're sending it, double check, triple check to make sure you're sending it to the right intended recipient on that. Extortion is when somebody is coerced to providing something to another. So you always want to verify who you're speaking to. So a lot of times people will get phone calls, and they might get a call whether they're going to tell you that you need to pay money for whether it's a bill, or it might be because you owe money to the IRS, or it might be because there's a warrant out for your arrest. There's usually some type of a threat involved. So you never want to give money to anyone who's called you. And just says here, the anonymous nature of an online conversations lend to the perfect environment for extortion. So because they can hide behind something, and it's very easy to convince people that they're going to shut off your utilities, or that, again, they're going to come place you under arrest. And
I was called by Wyatt Earp. He told me I had a warrant out for my arrest. And I said, really? He said, yes, this is Marshal Wyatt Earp. I'm like, please come pick me up. I'd love to see this. And quickly the phone hung up. So you'd be surprised how many times when it sounds too ridiculous to be true, it's not true. And if you ever receive one of those calls, simply hang up with them, contact us. We'll check everything out for you. I'm 99% sure you don't have a warrant. If you do, we'll tell you. We'll give you about 15 minutes to pack your bags and get out of wherever you are. But I promise you, we'll work it out with you, whatever it is.
yeah, and understand it's very easy for these people to alter a phone number. So you may get a phone call and it comes up on your phone looking like, especially if it's your cell phone, looking like it's coming from the Social Security Administration, or like it's coming from the IRS. It looks like a legitimate number, and if you then Google that number, it may come back to one of those agencies. But they've just created that. There's apps where you can make it look like it's coming from that phone number. They'll also use names that they've looked up. So when they'll say, oh, look up on the Social Security Administration website, you'll see my name on there. And the good part in a way is that they'll often use names that are like the directors, and most people know that the director of the Social Security Administration is not making these phone calls. So there's a big red flag, right? So just some of the common scams. There's so many out there. We can't stay on top of all of them. I don't even know what all of them are. But just to share with you some of the ones that we've seen, and one of the ones we deal with the most, romance scam. And that's simply where we see these online relationships develop, and soon enough, the person starts asking for money, and it's usually they're asking for money so that they can come meet the other person, because they're usually in another country and they need money, and then the money is sent and something happens, they get caught up at, you know, with customs or whatever it is, and they can't make it, they need more money. That's usually how something like that evolves. Then the family in need, most of you might have heard of the grandparent scam, all right, where family members, usually with this one, it's a grandchild calls, they're either in trouble, they've been arrested, and they need bail money, or they've been injured and they're in the hospital. And a lot of times they'll do that because then they can kind of alter their voice. They can say they were in a really bad accident, that's why they're not, you know, they sound different. So you always want to confirm those things, you know, call another family member and make sure. And I'll get to it later, but, you know, with the red flags, but sense of urgency is usually is the biggest red flag. If somebody's calling you with that sense of urgency, that you need to send that money right away, that usually means that, you know, it's not legitimate.
Lottery scams are beginning to occur too. I also got a call telling me I won $100 million from the Nigerian lottery. And I can't tell you the last time I was in Nigeria, but I'm pretty sure I didn't buy a lottery ticket when I was out there.
Yeah.
So you have to be cognizant of that. It sounds funny, and I agree with you, but the reality is a lot of people fall prey to this, and I don't know why, because it turns into, well, for $100 million, you have to give us $100,000. I don't know a lottery in the world where I have to pay to get my money. It doesn't make any sense, but
Right.
unfortunately, people fall prey to these scams.
Yeah, and it happens all too often. Another one is your identity has been compromised. This one is very common. We had actually two of probably our biggest losses in town where people have lost their entire life savings. I mean, liquidated 401ks, IRAs, every bank account, every penny out of fear because they were told your identity has been compromised, you need a new Social Security number, but when you do that, then all of your assets will be tied up because they're all associated with your old Social Security number. So they convinced them to move all of their money, all of their assets, everything that they have. And this usually goes on over a period of time, and they use fear to keep it going. And they'll say, you know, you can't tell anyone about this. You don't understand this is, you know, you don't know who's involved in this. And they make you think that everyone else is the scammer. But they're very good. The thing is that they're very good at what they do. And so, you know, these people fall victim to it, and it becomes, once they're into it, and that's what happened with these people too, it also becomes a sense of embarrassment and shame, and that at that point they don't want to tell anybody because they've already been giving away money and they're ashamed to tell anyone. And I'm here to tell you, tell somebody, no matter, even if you've already lost some money, it's never too late to say something and just make sure that, you know, it's not a scam, and then make sure you can get ahead of it before everything's lost.
Companies like PSE&G, AT&T, JCP&L, they're not going to call you that day and tell you, we're shutting your electric, your gas off tonight. That doesn't happen.
Never gonna happen.
It never happens. And the other thing you want to remember, when these agencies call you, Social Security, or your bank calls you, and the first thing they say to you, can you verify your account information? Well, you should have my account information. Why don't you read it back to me, and I'll verify if you have the right account information. That way you know exactly who you're talking to, because a lot of times what they do is they draw you in, they ask you for your account information, you just gave them your account information, and they're wiping out your accounts as you speak to them, still on the phone. So.
If you get an email, a phone call, or even a text message saying that, you know, there's a suspicious charge on your credit card, right? Our first instinct is, oh my gosh, you know, somebody charged something, somebody stole my identity, they charged something on my credit card. And, you know, your first instinct is to either click on that or to call that number that they've told you to call. And again, you always want to, if it's Chase or Citibank or whatever institution is that's saying there's this charge, don't call the number that's on there. Don't respond to that. Look on the back of your actual card. Take the number off of that. Take a number that you know is legitimate and call that number. Never call a number that's sent to you, because that's another common one. Even Amazon. Amazon seems to be the big one. I get texts from them all the time saying, oh, did you purchase this? And, you know, I look at it and then I'm like, oh, it's another scam, and I just delete it. The Microsoft scam, that's kind of an old one where something pops up on your computer. They say that your software is outdated, or, you know, you have a virus. they get you on the phone, they actually get access to your computer while you're sitting there. So that's another one that's very common. Concert tickets, you know, if anybody's going to any concerts, that's another one of fake. They're selling fake tickets, so people fall to that when the concert tickets are extremely expensive. We had quite a few of those during when Taylor Swift was in town, where they were selling fake tickets trying to sell tickets, and they didn't actually have them. Buy-sell sites, Facebook Marketplace, things like that. You just have to be very careful that, you know, you're dealing with somebody that's legitimate. Tax assessment scam, I don't think we saw one of these, but it did come through as a warning because it did happen in other towns where people were getting letters saying that they owed all these back taxes. Looked like a very official letter, and then there was a phone number to call on it. If you called that number, you were obviously getting the scammers instead of your actual tax assessor's office. So the red flags you want to look for, like I said before, the sense of urgency. They're going to pressure you to act immediately. And when that happens, you know, and it's usually or else, like I said, or else we're going to come arrest you, or else we're going to shut off your utilities. You can't tell anyone. That's another one. No, they're gonna really drive home that you can't even tell your family members or you know, we've had people that came in, they told me, you know, oh, maybe I should call my local police. Oh no, you can't even call the local police. They're that good that they convince people that their local police might be a part of this. So, and
We're not, trust me.
we're not, yeah. Anytime someone tells you that you need to pay with a gift card, cryptocurrency, or a wire transfer, the wire transfer, again, that's something people use wire transfers for things, but if it's somebody that you know, you're not expecting to make a payment to, and they're telling you to pay with your wire transfer, that's a red flag. The gift cards, obviously, they tell you to go buy a gift card. They want you to read the numbers off of the back of them. No, I'm gonna tell you right now, no utility company is ever going to ask you to pay with gift cards. Any type of, it was iTunes gift cards, Amazon gift cards, yeah. And then the other red flag is that there's a problem or a prize. We talked about the prizes. You either owe money, there's a virus on your computer, there's some sort of problem, or you won money and you have to pay this fee or deposit, you have to pay a fee to get it. The other one is you might get a check. They reach out to you, they say, we're gonna send you this check, we need you to deposit it, and you keep, you know, it's a $5,000 check, you can keep $1,000 or even half of it and send us the other half. And before it is, you know, you're cashing it on your own funds, right? So maybe the check you're able to cash the check, but eventually it doesn't clear. So now you're out, you know, $2,000 or more, depending on how much that check was for. So that's another common one we see. This is more of an in-person type of thing that, you know, just to be aware of. Thefts by deception and thefts in general, distraction thefts. These would be, you know, you're shopping in the grocery store, ladies, don't ever put your purses in the cart. You turn your back for a second. Somebody, you know, it's a lot of times it's two people working together. Someone's going to ask you a question while the other person takes your wallet out of your purse, and they probably won't take the whole purse because you'll notice that more quickly, right? So they're going to go in and take a wallet or whatever they can grab out of there. So, you know, try to get like a smaller purse when you go shopping. Wear something that's crossbody, maybe something that's not so big, so it's not so heavy. And that way you keep it on you all the time. And the follow-out distraction, that's where, you know, somebody might watch you making an expensive purchase. This happened in, I think it was Short Hills, where somebody was buying jewelry, and somebody followed them out to their car, and they actually ended up following them. They let them leave, and they had they slashed the tires before this person left, so they knew they were going to have to pull over, and then they followed them, and they ended up, stealing the items from them. Transient perpetrator thefts, these are the ones that we used to call, you know, the gypsy scams, where people might show up at your house offering to, we can't call them, I don't call them gypsy scams anymore, we call them transient perpetrator thefts, where somebody might, because they're usually transient, they're usually not from the area, right? They're traveling through, they might show up at your house and offer a service. And this can happen a lot of different ways. They might offer that service, you pay for it, and then they never do the service, or they do the service and it's not, up to par in any way, shape, or form. Or it could be another distraction where one person is distracting you, offering that service, and another person is entering your home to commit a burglary, and steal from you. So that's things to be aware of. This is a QR code. If any of you would like to take out your phones and open up your camera, this isn't a test to see if you'll do it. This isn't a scam. It's not a scam. I'm not trying to trick you. If you want to, this is a QR code. It's going to take you to usa.gov. There's more information on that website. We do have pamphlets over here as well. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can scan this and it'll take you right to that site. It's also a reporting site where you can report if you've been the victim of fraud or scam. And I'm going to end it with that. This is my contact information. Also, Detective Phil Justina wasn't able to be here today, but he usually does these types of presentations, and he helps out with investigating these types of crimes as well. So if you want to reach out to either of us with any questions or any concerns at some point, please feel free to do so.
Yeah, our detective bureau, I have to say, and I know the men and women work for me, but they're top-notch. They thrive on these types of cases. They've worked tremendously to get a lot of our residents a lot of money back. I think last year was in the tune of $2 million.
Yeah.
So they do the best they can. And one of the other things I'll stress, the sooner you report this to us, the more likelihood that we will be able to get some of your financial information or money back. So don't wait, don't hesitate, just call us. Even if you think it's a scam or you think it may be a scam, just give us a call. Because again, we'd rather come out 100 times rather than the one time you don't call us. So please call us, that's what we're here for. Thank you all very much. Thank you again. And don't forget your flashlight, just don't look at it.
So, Chief Berger, we're very blessed to have talent like him and Sergeant Baldessari. Chief Berger happens to be recognizing 25-year service to our community. He started when he was 10. But nonetheless, we are very fortunate to have he and his officers, when we asked, could you please do something specific to help folks from a senior perspective, things that are relevant? Thank you for answering that call. And as Sergeant Baldessari said, the police department did an Understanding Bernard, so it was like over an hour. It is taped on our website. If you go to bernards.org, and I can tell you this later, under Fabric of Bernards, there is that link. So those presentations get a lot of views because they are very helpful. But they did a very abbreviated, so a little snack. So thank you for that. Now, the last presentation from a government perspective is the valuable resource of our local library. So Lynn, thank you for representing, and we'll look forward to hearing.
Hi, I'm still absorbing all the great information that everybody had here. So hopefully this will be fun. So my name is Lynn Hilf, and I'm a senior reference librarian at Bernards Township Library, and I recognize a lot of your faces from coming into the library. I'm glad to see you. We have a lot of resources, services, and programs. Some of them you may know about, but some of them maybe not. We're back from our summer hours now, so we're back open on the weekend full-time on Saturday and then 1 to 4 on Sunday. Some of the library materials that we have, of course we have our regular books, but we do have a large collection of the large type books. We have the e-books and audio books. You may have heard of Libby and Hoopla, where you can download the books on your computer, if you have a smartphone, tablet, anything like that. We have magazines, e-magazines, newspapers. Popular one is Consumer Reports. We have a whole year's worth behind the reference desk if the issue you want is checked out. We also have journals, including consumer reports online that you can access from home or in the library. We have something now, well, we have puzzles and games, board games and all different size puzzles, but we have something called Library of Things that's relatively new. And we have everything from a ukulele to a bird watching kit to karaoke machine. We have something called Hearing Helper, a CD player, and we're getting some new items in soon too. So you're able to check out some items that you wouldn't necessarily think would be available at a library. Let's see. So some of the services that we have something that's very popular that some of you may have taken advantage of already called Tech Teens. And that is our students from Ridge High that get community service hours. And they come in and they'll talk to you about anything, you know, from emails, how to access your emails, to how to work your phone, how to print out pictures. A lot of things that, you know, we think of as being difficult or something that, you know, may not be possible. It's sort of second nature to them. You don't need an appointment. They're usually there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays, as well as Saturdays. So they come after school during the week, 3 to 5, and they come on Saturdays from 12 to 2. So again, you don't need to make an appointment, but it's a good idea to call just to make sure that one of them is there. Then we also have printing and scanning services available. You can come anytime and use a computer and do your printouts, free Wi-Fi. We also now do have a notary service. Myself, I'm a notary, as well as Athena, who's the head of circulation. It is a good idea to call first, and we just ask you a couple of questions and tell you what you need to bring with you. So we have that available now. During tax season, we have the tax assistance by the VITA people, who are volunteers, but they're highly trained, and that's been a very popular service through the years. A lot of you may know about some of our programs. During the pandemic, we continued a lot of the programs virtually, and some of them are still virtual. As a matter of fact, I think tonight we have Jamie Novak, who's doing a decluttering, cleaning out program, and that's virtual. This morning, I think we had a chair yoga program. Tomorrow night, we have an art historian talking about Edward Degas. So there's a variety of programs always going on. Something that's coming right up is our leisure learning, which some of you may have attended in the past. It's an 8-week program in the fall and in the spring, where they bring in professors of art history, of music, of current events, and you sign up. And some of the programs are in our library, and some are across the street at the church. So if you are interested in that, you should come over to the library, or you can print out a brochure from our website, because it gets filled up really quickly. And then we do have book discussion groups. I was talking to someone before. We have a new one, which is a cookbook club, where every month a different chef is picked out, and you look at the cookbooks and you decide on a recipe. You cook something, you bring it to the library, and then they talk about the recipes. And then we have an evening and a daytime book discussion group that are run by the librarians there. There's also crochet and knitting circle that meets on Tuesdays. And we have a craft corner. They do the craft programs on Fridays. So they've made wreaths, they've made terrariums, all different types of crafts. And then there's tech classes too. Our IT person, Karen, gives classes on how to use your iPhone. She gave a really interesting program on digital coupons, how to save money from your phone. So a lot of different programs going on. services that we also provide are referral services, and one of the groups is a Somerset County Aging and Disability group that we've referred a lot of people to, and they are wonderful. You know, I always tell people how great Somerset County is for their supportive services. And we also have, we do a lot of research. I work with somebody that is a counselor for the veterans over at Lions, and he gets a lot of research articles. We help people with finding physicians. We have a lot of resources, magazines, top docs, different databases that we can use. I'm helping somebody right now with travel destinations. We have a lot of good travel books, but a lot of online resources for that as well. So come on in, and we have, you can sign up for our newsletter to tell you all about our programs each month. And I have applications. If you don't have a library card, you can fill it out, and somebody from the library will be calling you. And what we'll do is make the card for you, and then you can come on in and pick it up whenever you'd like to. So, yeah, come and visit us. Our website is bernardslibrary.org. And thank you, and we hope to see you soon in the library.
Thank you, Lynn. I just, with all the presentations, I've heard things that I've never heard before, so I've gotten a lot of great nuggets, and I think I'm going to need to check out that Tech Teen program, because on Saturday, you may know we did the town-wide yard sale, and prior to that, I shared too many times. I got put in Facebook jail, so I'm not going to go to the police department to help me out with that, so I'm somehow locked out because I overshared. I don't usually share, but I really wanted to get traffic for folks, so yeah, I don't know how to unlock my Facebook situation, so anyway. And I need to pay in I need to pay in gift cards. So again, a tremendous, I hope that you found that tremendously value. So hopefully you have notes of like, okay, where am I going to go after I'm done talking? The next portion that I need to do, I asked each of these amazing organizations to complete a template so I can try to give you a high level of who else is in the room, right? So with that, I'm going to not do them justice. Again, this is just a little bit of a tease. And so when I mention the organization, if you'd be so kind to raise your hand and wave so everyone can say, okay, that's where I'm going to go when we switch to that portion of the session. Okay, so additional local resources in our area. I organized the housing organizations first. I grouped them all together, and then I have them by alphabetical order. So I don't want you to think I picked favorites or anything like that, but that was the method to the madness. So Arbor Terrace is back over here. So this is a housing organization that is coming soon, right? And so here is some information of where they're located. You can see the types of services. They offer care support, medication management, engagement, transportation, 3 chef prepared meals. And there's some information from, financial considerations. The best thing to do is to talk to any of these very nice ladies in the corner, and they will be able to help answer. I believe that you said that you will be opening soon, hopefully in the November time period. So I want to capture that on the recording. So that is a new option in town. So please connect with those fine ladies. Next, we have Fellowship Village, which is right here underneath the camera. So Fellowship Village, before I did this program, I thought Fellowship Village was a housing organization, but actually it's way more than that. And so this is where you can see their vision and their mission. Their services, this is something that, they have independent living and supported living, but I was really impressed with things that go well beyond. So again, I'm not going to do them justice in all the things that they do. I think this past Saturday you hosted a rock concert that I heard was amazing, that was open to the entire community. You also have an amazing theater that the entire community can also leverage, that I've heard is fabulous. And I know I've personally been, because you provide opportunities that when the Board of Health does the skin cancer screening, so I went there, that you're generous to donate space to allow those types of programs to happen. So it's something that please contact and interact with these nice women from the Fellowship Village. The residents at Basking Ridge, we have, thank you. She has a lot going on. It's a very exciting time, and so she will be able to help in just a bit. Your organization is also going to be opening this month. So 2 new options. So please make sure that she'll be positioned over here when we switch to that section. So great options within Bernards Township. And then, of course, Ridge Oak. They're over here, right? So Ridge Oak is our senior housing organization that is very much in demand. I'll just say that. So you can see some of the information as to who has the opportunity to live there. I know that I've heard qualitatively that there's tremendous interest and there's waiting lists and things, but obviously if there's a waiting list, there must be something good there. So here is some of the information. We have some nice, fine folks back there to answer any questions that you have around that. So if you happen to be looking for a new housing situation, you got all 5 options here in one space. And through that, if you're trying to figure out, well, how to get to that, Connie, thank you for coming. So Connie and Sunrise. I got ahead of myself. Sunrise over here in the beautiful orange table, very well decorated. We have Sunrise of Basking Ridge. So Paulina is happy to help. That is the 5th housing option that is here within our community. And she will be able to answer the types of questions that you have around assisted living and taking a tour and things like that. So again, thank you to all 5 housing organizations. So now I'm going to go to Connie. I was very impressed to learn about her and the services that are free for seniors and their families to help find what might be the best match for them. So again, Connie and her team are back in the back. So please come and talk to her. And so for instance, like what are the options when I need personal care? How much does it cost to live in an assisted living community? So she's not tied to any one in particular. She will help you find what fits your needs. Okay, so now some additional important partners. So we have over here the Atlantic Adult Day Center. This facility I learned about because I went to the one of the Somerset County senior centers. So it's in the same complex. They are in the front of the building. The senior center is in the back of the building. And the senior center, I'm just going to take an aside for just a second. That senior center, if y'all haven't been, is amazing. They have daily lunches and such, and I'm sure Joshua and the team can talk about that. But we are so lucky. That is just down the street from the YMCA in our community. And so they're in the back, so in the front. So this addresses an important need, and you fulfill, I think, and address something that is very important when someone needs a little more assistance, and what can that be? So it is a social adult day program model, which is a supervised environment for older adults to enjoy a meaningful day filled with activity and socialization. I have friends who have parents that they are not comfortable in them being by themselves when they need to leave and do something else. So this is a very wonderful program for people to be safe and have a good experience, and then that loved one to also be rest assured that all will be okay. So please visit these fine folks back in the back. So Mallory, thank you for coming. And so these are some of the types of the questions that you can ask of, like, I work part-time, can my parent attend only on the days that I'm working? So you can see that this is a great resource. Community in crisis. So the way that this worked, so she's back here waving with her nice purple and black ensemble for her table. As I was talking to people and saying, what other resources do we have in the community for seniors? I kept getting dribs and drabs. So if you can imagine, it was very much a journey for me. And so I was like, community in crisis? What do you mean? Well, they have a program for seniors. And it's not necessarily what you think it's called. It's the Healthy Aging Program. So again, Brenda, I'm not going to butcher this. I'm going to let you speak to that. But there are, it's weekly interactive program to teach older adults strategies on how to age in a healthy and enjoyable way. Quite honestly, I think we all could use that. But this is only for seniors. So, and it's a free program. So this is something that please go and talk to Brenda. And the Somerset Hills YMCA. So this is something that, again, breadcrumbs led me to them because it didn't jump out to me. They're an amazing partner within our community. They have many classes, and this senior membership is, I think, a real jewel that folks may or may not know about. But it is kind of like a ticket to a kingdom that perhaps you all should explore. I know I wish I could. I'll just have to wait till I'm a senior, not too far away. So please reach out and interact with Lisa and her team around the types of things. I mean, for instance, they have group exercise classes, 10 of them, right? And these are the types of programs that they have: Live Strong, Parkinson's, Diabetes Prevention, and Memory Cafe. So these are some awesome resources here within our community. With that, before I transition to the next phase, a couple things. This program was possible because of the support and behind the scenes work of many. And I just need to call out, first and foremost, the Township Committee, my peers. So Committeewoman Janice Fields, Mayor McNally, and the other members for supporting these types of programs. Secondly, all of the folks involved in the planning of this saw Christine Kiefer. So she is our municipal clerk. So she helped be the backbone to bring all this together and for you to have these lovely tables all throughout the room. So thank you, Christine. Mike, the IT guy, is recording this. And Mickey, who has been here, he is from DPW, or Department of Public Works, and he has been here to help in the background in case there's anything that we need. So this is something that, again, our town, you can see some of our township employees are amazing, and there are some folks behind the scenes that have been fabulous. So before I transition to the next phase, I wanted to thank each and every one of our groups. There are 14 represented, right? So we have 5 representing government and the others representing some very valuable housing options and nonprofits and other service organizations. And each and every one of you for coming and spending time and learning. So I really do hope that this program is going to be beneficial. It's only partway through, so the real good stuff is what you're going to do now. And we're running this technically until 8:30 or so, so hopefully you will enjoy the next portion. And I thank you for coming, and any feedback that you have, please feel free and let us know. Thank you. Ready, set, go.